With the 9th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Washington Wizards select Rui Hachi from Toyama, Japan, and Gonzaga University.
He's the second player from Japan to be drafted, and this is a huge deal culturally. There are 46 media members representing 23 outlets in Japan, and it's more than any other country aside from the United States. His name means baseball base. His grandfather was a huge baseball fan. He came to Gonzaga, barely speaking English, acclimated himself quickly, but Mark Few told me this week he's such a polite guy that he was flabbergasted early on by the fact that sometimes his teammates would lie about fouls and the score in pickup games. Can you imagine that?
Oh, wow.
Can you imagine guys doing that?
That's unbelievable. It really is.
Boy, what a season he had. Averaged nearly 20 points per game. He's a very talented guy. He can do a lot of different things. He already has an endorsement deal that has been signed because of the excitement over his starting of his NBA career here in the United States. Those in Japan very excited about it. He won the Julius Erving Award. It's the top.
With the 10th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Atlanta Hawks select Cam Reddish from Duke University.
Third Blue Devil picked in the top 10 tonight. You see Cam Reddish, who had a bit of an up and down season for the Blue Devils. Those three guys selected in the top 10 from the Blue Devils. Just the second time that's happened in the common draft era. The back-to-back national champion Florida Gator teams had Al Horford, Corey Brewer, and Joakim Noah go in the top 10 of the draft, all coming from one school. And tonight, Zion Williamson, R.J. Barrett, and now Cam Reddish, all going in the top 10. And now Reddish is going to the Hawks. What do you think of the pick?
I think Cam Reddish is a top 5 talent. I mean, he checks every box in the NBA. He's 6'9", he's got a wingspan of over 7 feet, he's got a beautiful shooting stroke, he's got NBA range as a shooter.
With the 11th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Minnesota Timberwolves select Cameron Johnson from the University of North Carolina.
There were 24 players invited to the green room, 17 more in the stands, but Cam Johnson.
With the 12th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Charlotte Hornets select P.J. Washington Jr. from the University of Kentucky.
One of the most improved players over the course of the season for John Calipari, as he turns out yet another lottery pick as P.J. Washington goes 12th overall. Both of his parents, Sherry and Paul Jermaine Sr., played basketball at Middle Tennessee. Paul Sr. wore number 25 at MTSU, the same number that P.J. wore at Kentucky. You see him donning those Celtics jerseys back in the day. And Penny Hardaway, who's now the head coach at Memphis, had a terrific AAU program, was his AAU coach for 3 years, and now P.J. Washington takes the next step on his career after a couple of years playing for Calipari at Kentucky.
I'm not sure there's a player in this draft, at least one that I can think of, that benefited more from coming back from for another year of college than P.J. Washington did. He was a totally different player this year for Kentucky. He's about 6'8", but he's got a 7'2" wingspan, very athletic.
With the 13th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Miami Heat select Tyler Herro from the University of Kentucky.
I'm going to tell you, when I saw Tyler Herro tonight, I thought that his suit would be the thing making the most noise. But the fact that he is a lottery pick, the kid from the state of Wisconsin, originally committed to the Badgers, decided instead to go play for John Calipari, who you see there. He goes back-to-back with Kentucky picks, a Kentucky guy who is his favorite player in Devin Booker, and now Boy Wonder, the nickname. And he is going to Miami a little bit higher than some people anticipated, but this guy can really shoot it. Kentucky was undefeated 19-0 when he scored 15 or more points this year.
Confidence, swag. Very highly skilled. I like it. And I like what he got. I like what he wore tonight.
That is an interesting suit.
I knew y'all
The Von Trapp family is missing some curtains.
represent Milwaukee, man. Y'all stop it, man. Mill Willie.
Is that what the sartorial splendor in Milwaukee?
Mill Willie represent.
With the 14th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Boston Celtics select Romeo Langford from Indiana University.
Aaron's Romeo Langford averaged 16 points a game in his sole season in Indiana. He grew up in Indiana. He spurned a lot of prep schools who wanted him to play there. Instead, was a superstar for New Albany High School, scoring more than 3,000 points. He played his AAU ball for the Rockets. Eric Gordon, he's a big Michael Jackson fan in terms of the music, and you see Romeo Langford going higher than some anticipated, moves to Boston at 14.
Let's go Celtics! Let's go! That Romeo Langford is going to show much better in the NBA than he did last year at Indiana. He played through that thumb injury throughout the season, and there were some concerns he might drop even further in this draft, but Boston really believes in his talent and his toughness. They gave great consideration to the injury he played with, and Langford may have dropped a few more spots if Boston didn't grab him here, but they did, and he'll get a chance.
Troy, can you match Kawhi?
With the 15th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Detroit Pistons select Sekou Doumbouya from Orléans, France.
There is Sekou Doumbouya, and I can't help but think of our great friend Stuart Scott, who I'm sure would love calling his highlights if he had the opportunity, wouldn't he? As Sekou is going to the Detroit Pistons, a highly regarded guy who was born in Guinea. He is the youngest player eligible for the draft. He's 18. He was born 2 days before Christmas in 2000. He started playing just 6 years ago. He turned pro at the age of 15. Moved to France with his mom and his 3 siblings when he was 1 year old, and now he is an NBA player selected by the Detroit Pistons.
With the 16th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Orlando Magic select Chuma Okeke from Auburn University.
Chuma Okeke from Auburn, a very versatile defender. He's a terrific defensive player. He had a great game against North Carolina. Of course, he was hurt again.
With the 17th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Brooklyn Nets select Nikhil Alexander Walker from Toronto and Virginia Tech.
More of that great talent coming from Canada and coming into the NBA. Nikhil Alexander Walker, a cousin of the Clippers' Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. Nikhil Alexander Walker, born in Toronto. He has 3 sisters and brothers. He's just the second first-round pick from Virginia Tech in the common draft era, joining Del Curry, who's 15th overall in 1986. Billis, you've been very high on what Nikhil Alexander Walker can do for an NBA team.
Well, he's a complete guard. You know, he can handle, he can pass, he can shoot it, and he moves really well without the ball. He's ambidextrous. He's got...
With the 18th pick in the 2019 NBA Draft, the Indiana Pacers select Goga Bitadze from Tbilisi, Georgia.
Goga Bitadze, the big man, the first center in 13 years to win the EuroLeague Rising Stars Award. Is selected 18th overall, going to the Indiana Pacers. Here's what Goga has on his resume. His dad was a pro. Zaza Pachulian was his basketball idol.
Zaza.
Mike Schmitz is with us now. Mike,